I'm going to talk about terrariums, and there's different types of them here. And I'm going to kind of speed this through a little bit. We have our open terrariums, like this one, and you can put plants in it, and most of them are all the same. You're going to have a drainage rock, a screen to help the soil not fall into the drainage rock when you add water to it. And then you're gonna add the soil on top, which is more of a loose soil, but it also has a lot of water that can trap in it. So there's a lot of peat moss and very moisture soaking soil. I also put perlite in there to help loosen up that soil so it's not so compact. And then it also holds a lot of water with the moss that I have put in there. And you can add different plants, any type of plant that likes high humidity, but at the same time, there are multiple different types of plants that can be overpowering as you put it in here. That might be invasive and take over the entire thing. So we also have closed terrariums that are like this, and this one's more for the high humidity plants that just really need at least 90% humidity inside. Otherwise, they'll dry out really fast. Their leaves will become crispy, brittle, and they'll just die. Whereas some of the open ones, they still like some of that contained humidity, but they still like the airflow and air circulation. With that being said, some begonias, when they get water on top of them, they'll just melt. The leaves will literally melt and get soft, and it's just not a good thing for begonias. So I have some right here. This is a cane begonia that we're going to use. And then I have a few other different small plants that we're going to go ahead and put this together. So I'm going to have my little partner over here help me with this. I'm going to kind of show you how some of these get put together. And you always want to make sure that you're wearing gloves, because anything that gets put in the closed terrarium is going to stay in the closed terrarium. So you want to make sure that all of your tools are sterilized. You want to make sure that you're wearing clean clothing, because any pest bugs that can attach to you will go in here and then maybe affect all of your plants that way. So we're going to start with the drainage rock. I have some rock out here. And these are just really good for letting all the water soak down, but yet lifting it up without having the plant sit in the soil. So we're going to go ahead and add at least 1 inch on the bottom, whatever container you want to use. Any glass is perfect for this. So we have some rock right here, and then screen. Yeah. Okay. So this one's going to be a little bit shorter because the actual container is a shorter container, and we have some taller plants here. So I took a screen and cut it around. You can use any type of mesh bendable screen, and this prevents the soil from contaminating the rocks on the bottom and like all of it just all becoming one thing. So we're just going to lay that in there just like so. And then we also have some a tool. There we go. We're good. Okay. So we have some tools here, and this little guy right here will help push down the screen a little bit more. And then we're going to add this charcoal base, and this will keep all of the odors down and any type of contaminants that you might have. And this is very messy, so I also brought along some gloves because your hands can get stained with all of the black because it is charcoal. So think like charcoal chalk, black hands, you might want to pick up some gloves or have some tools to kind of spread that around. And then this will kind of push this down and around.
Your microphone came down.
My microphone fell down again. I can just hold it.
Maybe just hold it because it just popped off.
Okay. I'll just hold it. So then the next thing that we're gonna put in is I have this mixture of soil, and this also comes with mixed in with perlite, and there's a lot of peat moss in this as well to keep that moisture in there. So I already went ahead and dampened it and put some water in there. So we're gonna kind of put some of that in there as well. Gloves for you. And then after she puts that in there, we're just gonna add like a layer of the soil, at least an inch or two, so that the plants, when I do place them in there, the roots are actually in the soil as well. But while she's doing that, there are different types of plants and different types of bugs that you can put in there for beneficial bugs. And what that means is when the lid is enclosed, you can actually keep it closed and don't have to open it. They're really self-sustaining. It's its own little ecosystem, which is really cool, as the bugs take care of all the good and the bad. They help take off all the dead foliage off of your plants in there. They help keep down the bad bugs and things that could come in and attack, like here, attack the plant itself. And so we're gonna have her choose whatever plants that she wants to put in there. There's tall ones, short ones that climb on the ground, and she's just gonna place those in there. So right now she's using.
Let's start with the tall one.
We're gonna, yeah, so we always want to start with the tall ones first, and then that kind of gives you your base to work around the tall ones to get to, and then you'll do the shorter one, and then your ground cover. Kind of like when you're laying out a garden bed. It's like, think about it like a miniature garden bed with little tiny miniature tools, which are kind of fun. So she's just digging little holes in there and just gently setting it in. And if it's too tall for the lid to close, you can always trim the tops. And that's one thing that you have to think about is trimming down your plant and making sure that the invasive ones don't take over the entire thing. Like, you don't want a string of turtles taking over the entire thing, unless that's what you want. Like if you want like driftwood for it to climb up, or if you want to have like different types of flowering ones to put in there. It's just a lot of fun, and it's great to do with kids because you can get little mason jars and do the same idea. They can even go outside and pick rocks, and then you bring them inside and just sterilize them with warm water and let it sit out and dry, and then you can put it in like little mason jars. It's a really fun family craft, family thing to do. Didn't you do one with your family?
I had 3 of my kids in the holidays. They came over, laid out the materials, and they just went to work. They had so much fun.
And so they did these ones that you see right up front. We're also gonna be doing a raffle for the ones that we have up top here. And there's some really fun, unique plants that we have. We have like a peperomia, which is this guy right here. We have like the begonias, a cane begonia, string of turtles. And then we even have some ferns. Ferns are also a lot of fun and give a lot of texture and a lot of things to the eye. It's really cool. There's different types of ferns that you can put in there. Because sometimes when you buy them from the store, it just becomes like a crispy, dead pot after a while because it needs that high humidity. So what you're going to do is you just, kind of trim it around, make it a little tiny, and then you can put it inside of your glass terrarium. So she's almost done building this. And then if you wanted to, we can always put the lid back on after trimming the tops, or you can leave it open if you want. There isn't any high humidity plants that we have placed in here at the moment, but if you wanted, in one of these we have this one right here. That is a ficus, and that's kind of more of a rare plant. It's a type of ficus that needs very high humidity, at least 90%, or else it'll turn crispy. So leaving this closed and not opening it is the best option. In one of the terrariums, the big one over here, we actually have beneficial bugs in there. You haven't opened that in a while, right?
I open it because I'm trying to figure out the humidity. If there should be some condensation in the early morning and the evening, I still have a little too much moisture, but I just take a little Kleenex or toilet paper and just wipe around the edge, and then it's good to go. But supposedly in a closed environment, it can last months before you might need to trim down the plants. But on the other hand, they say the plants can grow so tall. Don't be afraid every couple of weeks to go and start trimming, and then you can root the plants too.
Yeah, you can also root the plant. So there's nodes underneath each of these plants, and that's where roots can grow, and you can propagate those new plants. So we're gonna go ahead and we're almost finished with this. We have sphagnum moss that we're going to put on the top of the soil to kind of keep that moisture locked in, especially in an open terrarium. You can buy this on Amazon, and same with most of our products that we have here that we've used today. You can purchase them on Amazon and in most stores, or even like fish stores. For fish tanks, they have like the rocks and the screen and things like that.